Hello, Mr. Thomas. How are you doing today?
I'm doing. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. We got a big day of. So we just pick our Christmas arrangements. There they go. I don't know why they disappeared. I had them up before, but all right.
Well, it's because they're flashing for you.
Yeah, I took them all down. I guess in preparation for next Christmas, right? Because we
Yep.
put them up a year in advance around here. I think some people just never take them down and just plug it back in at the after Thanksgiving or even before.
Yeah, they celebrate in July.
Yeah, I've seen that before. All right. Hello, Private Ross. How are you today? Sha Tin split between two groups of numbers. First set of numbers at Sha Tin for our good friend, Private Ross. Anti-code numbers. There you go. Those are those on the other side there. So the codes are one of those two sets. Thomas, he's speaking about Sha Tin. Big weekend of racing there. What's the big deal in Hong Kong this Sunday?
Well, foreign runners are allowed to run for one, and also they're running for a few bucks.
Yeah,
So
a few
a
dollars.
mixture of Japan, UK, and we'll see what happens. Interestingly enough, there's not been many U.S. runners there.
The the jockeys though too, they kind of come in from all over the place too, right?
On Wednesday night at Happy Valley, they had a jockey competition, and Ryan Moore, who is now back riding, won that competition. So they bring in jockeys from France and from all over to participate in the jockey challenge.
I see.
And they get to ride the Happy Valley, which is a challenge by itself.
Yeah, I can imagine. When you go over there, I did notice a couple different jockeys on there. Some free picks I did notice today. Tonight, this is Friday, Charlestown. You can get them over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There's a link in the description here on the YouTube channel, as well as over on horseracingtoday.net, or sometime between now and the time the racing starts on Saturday night or Sunday morning, depending upon where you are. You can go ahead and click right there, and then there'll be a link in there as well. Also, while you're there, hit that HRT gear button. It is that time of year. Here in Chicago on Sunday in the morning, it's supposed to be minus 20 degrees outside with the wind chill. So a nice cup of your favorite hot stuff inside a See You in the Winter Circle mug might be a great way to warm up your minus 20 degree day, Thomas. What do you think about that?
It'll be slightly warmer in Hong Kong.
Yeah, a little bit warmer. Well, let's talk about these races. There's 5 of them that we're covering, Tom. 4 of them are Group 1. The first one is the Hong Kong Vase or Vase. I don't know how you're going to pronounce it, but we'll go with Vase to sound a little bit more erudite. This one's going to be 2,400 meters on the course, which we should note right now is listed as good. The weather forecast between here and there is sunny, so I don't suspect that'll change. Thomas, do you?
No, I do not see that changing.
So 2,400 meters, they're going to start right about here, I would guess.
Yep.
And then they're going to make their way around 2 turns. So I would venture to guess, Thomas, that you're looking for horses maybe with a little bit of late speed.
That generally is the preference, depending on that pace. And I think we're going to get a slow pace.
Here's the way the pace looks like it's going to set up according to Hong Kong Jockey Club. Right here you see looks like moments in time, Ada, and it looks like it'd be pretty fairly balanced out field though to me, Tom. What do you say?
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, so let's see if we agree on anything in terms of who might bring home the big prize in this one.
I'm going to start with 2, El Rifa. Had way too much work to do in the Melbourne Cup last time. Didn't get off very well. Was running 22nd on 24 horses in that field. Ended up finishing 7th, so respectable at the end. Maybe a little too far for him. Cutting back to this distance may help. We came into that race off 2 wins at the Curragh, so I mean, he can run on just about any ground. And I would say just a little better judgment, and he got a better draw this time too, and that'll help.
You know, when you started off with saying he had way too much, I thought you were going to go with the drink. I was going to be like, all right, anyway.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
We'll go with number 5. So Seth is my next choice. Last run was in the Arc, ran third. It was a good effort. Wasn't going to catch the winner or the second horse, but that was a really strong field because we've got a few other horses that ran that race in this group. And ran second in the Foy, missed by half a length. That was at Longchamp. And I think the race that's makes a little concerning on this one is the Sandown race, where he faced some really good horses again. Only was able to run sixth. His big advantage is that he can run on the front end. He's versatile. He can run on the front end. He can close. He can be sitting behind the pace. So that may be very helpful in this race, and his draw is fine for what he's got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the winner of this race last year was number 3, Giovetto Lotto. And did a nice job. Went off at 12-1 in that race. He came from off the pace to win it. Since that race, he raced okay in Dubai. Then he ran third at Epsom. And then he went on the all-weather at Kempton and beat a Campana who ran in the Arc. He ran and then he ran fourth in the Arc. So he's ate some pretty good horses.
Mm-hmm.
Can he repeat? I don't see why not.
We have 3 of the same 4. 3. We have those 3 horses, but I get to make 4 picks, so I have one different one. But we both started off with the 2-horse Rifa. I noted, like you did, Tom. You said he was 22nd. He finished 7th. It seems to be that this horse has crazy late legs. So if anyone's coming at the end, this guy will be coming like his tail's on fire. Where we have a little bit of a different one, I'm going right here. Aiden, the 8-horse. Moving up in class, but there's no question the horse is in form at the moment. Number 3, last year's winner, Tom, Giovetto, I guess. I don't know. It's been more than a year since this horse is making 3 starts in a row. So I think the horse is fully healthy, Tom. And you mentioned has squared up against some good competition. And then finally, the other one we agree on, Sosi, does have a Group 1 win. 3rd race upside, that is the questionable part for me, because if you rewind through the PPs, 3rd races have been a little bit of a struggle at times for Sosi. The 5th race on Sunday morning, it's going to be 1,200 meters, which I can think 6 furlongs in our world if I finally have that down. You're going to start here. They're going to make their way to that turn, come back around in a very American-looking track, Thomas, but they run the wrong way.
They do.
Speed, mid-pack, what do you want?
Off the pace.
Off the pace. All right, well, I don't know what we're going on there, but we're dragging some stuff around. I guess I stalled out, huh?
Looks that way.
You can hear me, though?
Yeah, you're fine.
All right.
Your speech is fine, but the screen is frozen.
That's just good stuff. All right. Well, hopefully I come back. If not, I'll have to.
We'll be optimistic.
I think what I'm going to probably have to do is reopen up StreamYard. So, Tom, I'll be back in 2 seconds. And in the meantime, perhaps suggest a wise thing for people to do to follow us all the time.
And they can follow us on all those crazy media stuff that's out there, because we're on all of them and then some. And you want to challenge, play Hong Kong, because you never know with some of these races. And the hardest race of the day was probably going to be the next race we do, which is number 6. But first, we got to cover this one. And there's one horse in here who's going for 16 in a row. So you take a guess who that horse is. The racing right now, it's either warm like in Hong Kong, or we can be down in Australia where it's in the hundreds, which is ridiculous because it's not that here. So I know I'm just nattering on, waiting for Rich to return. And for anybody watching, we try, but technology sometimes gets in the way. There he is.
Yeah.
And of course, today is opening day at Oakland. So keep that in mind. Some decent purses again, and the fields are full.
No, yes, indeed, down there in Hot Springs, Arkansas. All right, so here we go. We were in this part here, Thomas, when everything kind of went amok.
Yeah.
The way the race looks like, most of the horses want to be middle back. You mentioned you wanted a horse middle back. I don't think I'm going to have to go very far.
A little more forward. I think just off the pace is really where I'd like to sit.
Yeah, and I think I know who you're going to start with. Probably everybody else is going to start with.
He's going for number 16 in a row. KA YING Rising. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those horses that is a freak, and there's no question. He won the Everest. If he gets beat, it's a major upset. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Win Camelon is my next choice. I like the last race a lot. He crossed over from the 16 post and won that race, sitting off the pace. And he beat some of the best in Japan in that race, certainly at sprinting distance. In Dubai, he lost to Believing earlier in the season, and then his race before his last race was his prep, and he finished 5th in that one. Coming out of 11, so he's going to need that speed, but he can do it from 16. That's pretty good to do it, and probably can do it again. Number 3, Lucky Sways Nisi is my final choice. And 2 races back, he ran a really poor effort against my second choice in Japan. But then he returned to Hong Kong and raced a bit wide in that race last time out. And he kicked, but not enough. He ended up 4th. He'll benefit from that race, and I think you'll see him run well here. And he certainly is up in this level of horse.
Well, I think it starts with KA YING Rising, and you go from there, Tom.
Yeah.
So what I did is I said, well, let's go back and look when other horses ran against this powerhouse that has 16 wins in 18 races with 2 seconds. I wanted to see how some of these other horses stacked up, and, well, not too surprisingly, a lot of these horses have already seen the backside of KA YING Rising at the finish line. So I just said, you know what? Let's make this simple. Who's been the closest at the end? And let's put them in that order. Well, and that's how it goes. Santono Rivi, that one, the 2-horse. That one finished 2.25 lengths, 2 2.25 lengths behind KA YING. And then Fast Network, the 6-horse is next closest. That one, 2 3/4 lengths. And then we had a trio of them that finished 4.5 lengths behind. So I had to pick one. So I went with the 4-horse, Helios Express, because it's consistently more often in the money than either Lucky, Swaynazy, or Raging Blizzard. So that's about the craftiest handicapping you'll ever come across. Number 6 is our next in these 5 races that we're doing, big races. I think this is the only one. I don't know what I'm doing right there. We're race 6 now, huh? I clicked the wrong one closed. So race 6, I think this is the only non-group 1, right? It's
they slapped one in the middle there.
Yeah, just to kind of break the routine. So this is 1,800 meters. At 1,800 meters, we're going to step back to the end of the chute here. Plenty of room on the backstretch to make your way into good position for that turn there. And, you know, Tom, I've noticed a lot of these races like that where you sort of have like a 1-turn mile. They can favor horses that get to the front on the right fractions. Any chance that that's how this will play out here?
Well, we're going a little farther than a mile. The 1,600 meters is a mile.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it does help. But you still have to see, what that pace factor is in this race. And there are definitely some distinct closers in this race, but there's also a little bit of speed up front.
Yeah, it looks like just the way the card stacks up, looks like there's plenty of speed with Mr. Dapper out on the front and quite a few hosts to keep him company to make sure that the fractions are honest, Thomas. So who do you think is going to take home the sandwiched handicap?
I'm going to start with number 6, Snowfield.
Mm-hmm.
Improved after each start. Ran third last time, ran fourth the time before. And those were 2,000 meter type races. And the race before that was 1,650. This is his first try at this distance, but he's definitely a dead closer. 11 doesn't bother me. His draw. I think he's got a chance to win this, and I think he'll make a little bit of a price on this one. Number 5, Prestige Good, going to be my next choice. Ran second last time out, missed by a neck. He responded well under pressure though, but he still got caught. He's shown good tactical speed in the past. I don't see why he wouldn't again. Better starting post. I think that's going to help him. And so at the end, he should be right there.
Mm-hmm.
Final number 2, Gentleman's Legacy is going to be my final choice. Ran second at this distance, but only has 1 win at Hong Kong from 7 starts. He's been running in the 1,800 meters or 2,000 meter level. He wins. He's won at 2,000. The last race he was a tough trip. I think he'll improve, and he gets Zach, which never could hurt.
Doesn't sound like your cat agrees.
No, it doesn't.
I have somebody completely different on the top of my ticket. Pope Cody. We don't agree on any horse in the handicap, I don't think, here, Thomas.
I'm not surprised.
Yes.
It was a tough race, to be honest.
This one, absolutely, I feel like will be closing. It's the first time the horse is going to go past the mile. I think that works to Pope Cody's benefit. Cambridge, the 2 horse. Well, I think, am I on the right race? Cambridge. Where's Cambridge?
Yeah, you got Cambridge.
Yeah, he's the 1 horse. I'm sorry. Because I know you mentioned the 2 horse. I'm like, wait a minute. Where did I get it wrong here? The 1 horse. I just typed down the wrong one. My bad. No, I'm supposed to have the 2 horse in here. Gentleman Legacy. All right, wait a minute. I got this all wrong. Let me go back.
Oh, yeah, and the draw is 14 on Cambridge, so that's always great to be in.
Well, I know I got it wrong because my note says Zach Purton riding on the morning line favorites.
That's definitely not Christian Sumio.
No. And we'll get to him a little bit later on, but it does make sense that this one's the favorite because relative to everybody else, it's taking a tiny drop. Instead of 80 to 60 being the range, it's 85 to 60. So I would consider that to be a tiny drop. But
rated 78, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, well, you had his top-rated horse in there along with Cambridge, the 1 horse, which maybe I should have went with that one instead. I don't know.
I don't know. You like those outside draws, so maybe you should have.
I probably should have. We did all right with him last week, though, I feel like. No? Mr. Dapper is the next pick for me. We saw in the pace chart that one should be out on front right there. 3rd start after a layoff. Last time the horse just missed out, so any further fitness and just missed might turn into just one. And then I'm going to go with the 4 horse here, Winning Gold. Pretty crazy pick, I feel like, in here, Tom. Look at that line. 10, 13, 10, 11, 2, and 8. That's very encouraging, wouldn't you say, at 99 to 1?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But when you look at the horse's margins of defeat, they're all like within 4 or 5 lengths, a couple of lengths. It's really not all that far off. And of all the other horses that are in this race that I haven't picked, or that maybe Tom might have picked, this one does have the most class at Sha Tin. So why not at 99 to 1? Yeah, next week I could be 99 to 1 rich.
Rispoli's riding, so he used to ride in Hong Kong, so he knows how to get around the track.
But if he was with D'Amato, that might be a whole different story, because one time I left a Rispoli and D'Amato horse off my ticket in California, and I got a nasty message from somebody. Come on, man. Everybody knows that you put Rispoli and D'Amato on your ticket. That's all right, bro. Chill, man. If you know it and I didn't do it and you didn't do it, who should you be mad at? Race number 7, we go back to the Group 1s. This is the Hong Kong Mile. I suspect they're going to run 1 mile, Tom. 1,600 meters. So they're going to go here. They're going to bump up a little bit from that last race. Again, here in the States, those one-turn routes, they can play a little bit more like sprints. And in this case, if that is the case, you're going to find that this one, more horses middle back. So maybe this quartet up here, if one of them can catch a decent pace, could go wire to wire. You see any chance of that happening, Tom?
I wouldn't be surprised, like, if My Wish returns to a little better form and wins. He's won 3 out of 4, so.
So he's on fire now. So is that in your picks to get started?
Nope. I started with number 14, Embroidery. Comes into this race after a 5-month layoff, but she wins first up. She won a Group 1 at Kyoto by half a length at 2,000 meters. The race before that, her layoff was a really dull effort. And she had won the race before that, which was the Japanese Guineas race at 1,600s. She's run 4 times at this distance. She's got 2 wins and a second. She will be a little forwardly placed, I think. And she's won from the outside post before, so not a huge surprise. And this is one that they've touted as being maybe one of the best Japanese up-and-coming horses. Well, big races already in Japan, so who knows? 2, Voyage Bubble, my next choice. And second, the Romantic Warrior, after he tried to steal the race, setting the pace. And, of course, Romantic Warrior is no slouch. Based on that race, I think he's really going to be tough here. I mean, he's beat Soul Rush in the past. He did that in this race last year. He ran prior to that one, and he ran 12th, and it was a mess of a race. I don't know what else to say about it because I watched it, and it was a mess, and they had Stewart incident notes on it and a whole bit. And he picks up a guy named Zach, who's pretty good. Number 5, Galaxy Patch, my final choice. Really like the effort off last time. It came off the pace, went to win, and really looked good doing it. He's raced behind Voyage Bubble in the past, but then he went a bit off form. He runs late. He has 10 starts at this distance. He's won 3 of them and 2 seconds and 3 thirds. 1/3. And, he's like there's definitely closers in here, but out that last race, I think you got to think about him serious. And that's what I did and put him in there.
Well, we both seriously think Embroidery is going to win. It is making the second start after a layoff for the 4th time in its career. The previous 3 times, Thomas, it visited the winners and closures. So let's see if it can make it 4 for 4. Number 9, Sunlight Power. There's Sumian again. In the distance, 6 of 8 so far. And last time out at a mile, its mile time was considerably quicker than the previous time the horse ran a mile. So showing some improvement. Voyage Bubble, one that we both agree on with that man, as we call him in our Hong Kong shows, Zach Purton riding. This one's been successful at Sha Tin. He's been successful at the distance. So I think just on that trio of things alone, distance, track, and jockey, you can't overlook them. And then finally, Happy Together. I don't know the rest of it, but I remember that part. Just missed in its last, and in the money, 5 out of its last 6 races. So I think this is the quintessential Tom horse. Doesn't really win a lot. but does find a way to collect the check at the end of the day. Final race coming up for you and me, race number 8, the Hong Kong Cup, Thomas. But before we do the Hong Kong Cup, just a reminder, if you haven't done so already, you see scrolling down there below amongst the Christmas decorations, all of our social sites. Make sure you follow us, give us a thumbs up and a like wherever it is that you're watching. Any interactivity really boosts our search engine score. So when other people look for Hong Kong content or parks racing or Aqueduct or Gulfstream Park or wherever we may be applying our trade, they're more likely to find us. And we greatly appreciate that. And Thomas, any idea what we might do next Friday?
Nope.
No, all right, that's a good thing.
I haven't even looked at it, to be honest with you. I had to work through this bunch.
So here we have a very short field of only 7 horses. So I only get to pick 3. They're going to go, in this case, 2,000 meters. So for the last time, we'll look at the map. 2,000 meters, a quick turn. Tom, I have to imagine that quick turn, you either want to get out of the gates in a hurry so you can make that turn, or you kind of want to be late. Being in the middle could be a little bit dangerous if you get shuffled and blocked. What do you think?
Small field, though, relatively speaking. So I think tactical speed always helps, and we know that Galen's going to be cutting the mile.
Yeah, there you go. Galen out on the front right there. Everybody else kind of giving chase. Really doesn't look like there's a troop closer in the mix. They'd be way back here. So it looks like they're all mid-pack forward types. So the pace could be hot. Being up front might not be the wisest of choices, Tom. Who do you feel like is the wisest of choices if you're going to make a play here?
Well, I keep betting against Romantic Warrior, and I'm going to do it again.
All right.
Number 2, Bellagio Opera. I'm going to take the Japanese horse. Comes in this race off a layoff. He's won first up in the past, so don't see that as a problem. He ran second as the favorite last time out at 2,200 meters. He had a race before that at this distance. And I would say fast is an understatement. It went 156 in 0.2. Well, the norm would be about 159. It was very quick. 2 minutes is more the norm. That is extremely quick. You can repeat that. He runs away from this field. I mean, there's nobody who's ever run that fast. He's got 5 starts at this distance. He's won 3 of them. But he's like either wins or he's going to have to think about what he's going to do at this distance. One Romantic Warrior, kind of hard. Yeah, yet again. He beat Voyage Bubble last time out, caught him at the end. He was second to Soul Rush, who's running here. He was second to Forever Young for his first start on the dirt in Saudi Arabia. He's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And he's won a few bucks, and the old guy seems to still want to run. So I got him in there. And finally, I'm going to take the mare, Quisana. Quisana? I don't know. How about it? She ran third last time out to Campana. And that was in British Champions Day at Ascot. And she also had a dull effort in the Arc, but so did Campana. She was on a 4-win race streak before the Arc. She's 3 for 4 at this distance. She's a Group 1 winner in France. She's one who will sit off the pace, and I think you may get one of the better prices in this field. Mm-hmm. And watch out for her because she does get a little weight allowance, being a mare.
Well, I'm going to bet against Romantic Warrior. I'm going to pick up right where you left off, Tom, with Christiana. Maybe I'm nuts. I mean, I think you kind of, if you watch the show, you could say, no, that's probably not maybe, it's absolute. But the horse has run at the distance 4 times, took home the top check. 3 of those. Sumian rides this horse. It's one of his 6 mounts. But the one thing that I noticed in his other mounts is the only horse he's ever in the group that he's running with today that he's ridden before. And the interesting thing about that was the one time he rode this horse. You know what they ended up doing, Tom?
Ran pretty well.
Yes, they won. Then, of course, Romantic Warrior won 11-13 at the distance with a second, 1-5 fave. Got to try to top them. That's what we both tried to do. You went with Bellagio Opera, and I agree, Tom. I think that one's going to take, that other Japanese horse is going to take a lot of dinero. But both have similar performances against common opponents. The last time this horse made 2 starts in a row, I picked the wrong one. I went with Roshan Park, the one right from home. The last time this horse made 2 starts in a row, he finished a very tight second to an outstanding horse, at least if I know it by name, Rebel's Romance. Not a bad horse, Tom, I don't think.
No, he ran the Breeders' Cup, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So they obviously think something of this horse.
So you're going to get a much bigger price on that one than, it might even be the longest shot on the board. I don't know, but we'll find out. That wraps it up for this 4 and Friday. Again, if you haven't done so already, kindly hit the like button. Follow us across all of our social sites. You see them down there below. Again, every day over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, there are free picks. There's a link in the description on YouTube. We'll also link to it in the story where we'll post all of our commentary right here for the big weekend of racing in Hong Kong. HorseRacingToday.net. When you're there, click on that, and it'll bring you to all of that. While you're there, again, great chance to pick up a coffee mug. If you're watching on this side of the equator, we're going to be minus 20, and something nice and warm, some cocoa, some coffee, some tea, just might make you feel a touch better about minus 20 outside. Maybe a couple of winners on Sunday will make you maybe a couple of winners on Sunday will make you feel a touch better about that.
That always helps.
Yeah, because you'll be happy while you're sleeping anyway. All right, Thomas, any final thoughts from you before we get out of here and we kind of wander our way through the week till we get back for 4 and Friday next Friday?
You can't get better racing than in Hong Kong this weekend. I don't know where else you would go.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else in there either. All righty, Mr. Ross, you have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for all your commentary. No matter what you're doing for the rest of this day or this weekend, as you prep for Hong Kong, you prep for the holidays, we certainly hope it has God's grace and God's favor in every single thing that you do. Thomas ends up in
the winner's enclosure.
Yes, make it a blessed week.